Browns and Texans on Sunday in Houston. Let's get some injury updates on this game because there are some big ones to talk about. We're going to start with the good news, though, Mary Kay. Joel Bitonio, he is only listed as questionable as he deals with a back injury. So the hope here, especially after watching him out of practice, is that he will make his return to kind of help get this run game, which has been struggling, going.
Yeah, you know what? I really think that Joel is going to be out there. He's one of those gamers. He knows that he's got to be out there to help his team, and especially when they don't have their two tackles. And they're going up against a very, very stout Texans front. They need Joel. I think he'll be there.
And Ashley, again, going back to that run game, when you lose a guy like Joel and you're in a game where you don't have Ethan Pocic, you only have Wyatt Teller, both your tackles are out, you're going to have those three interior guys back for this game.
Yeah, I mean, that will be huge, even not only just from the run game standpoint, but that Texans pass rush has been revamped under D'Amico Ryans. All four starters at least have 5 sacks. So that's something Joel brought up in his press conference, and we know Kevin Stefanski said they're going to take the next 48 hours or so, see how he responds. He, of course, has a long plane ride to Houston tomorrow, as we all do.
Okay, now there are some other injuries on the defensive side that we get to, and the news here is not as good. And let's just start with Anthony Walker. Kevin Stefanski was asked today if Anthony Walker's knee injury that's going to keep him out of this game is trending towards surgery. And all he said, Mary Kay, is we'll update you in a couple days. That's not something you love to hear about one of your key players on defense.
No, it did sound a little ominous, and that's unfortunate because we all know that Anthony Walker is one of the leaders of the football team. He's a captain. He's someone that is almost like a coach on the field. And they've already lost a number of guys that are in that leadership category. The Rodney McLeods, the Grant Delpits. And so to be without Anthony, that's going to be challenging. And I know they're all hoping that he can get back sooner than later and that he's not done for the season.
And, of course, that would put more on Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Jim Schwartz said he doesn't want to see leave the field, so this, of course, would kind of lead to that. Ashley, Juan Thornhill, too, going to miss this game, another one with a calf injury.
Yeah, I mean, I think that calf injury continues to be a concern, obviously, when it kept him out this week in practice. I think it was kind of obvious that things were trending towards him not playing, but at least for the Browns, they were able to throw in 2 undrafted guys, and rookie Ronnie Hickman, second-year guy D'Anthony Bell, who's been a huge special teams contributor over the last 2 seasons. And they performed well in those roles, including D'Anthony getting the game-clinching interception. So all of that is positive. But Awok, of course, last year had his season ended with that ruptured quad tendon in his right leg. So hopefully for him and the Browns, it's not that serious this time.
Okay, let's talk about Myles Garrett, because everybody else has been talking about Myles Garrett this week. His position coach, Ben Bloom, was the latest to make the case for Myles for Defensive Player of the Year. 6 minutes long he went when he was asked that question about if Myles should be Defensive Player of the Year. But Mary Kay, Myles spoke today. What stood out from what he had to say?
Well, you know, my ear went elsewhere because we've been talking about NFL Defensive Player of the Year all week long, and we get it. Myles is the best defensive player in the NFL. He should win the award, and hopefully for everybody concerned, he will. But I was very intrigued by him talking today about going against Laramie Tunsil. This is the best left tackle that he has faced since he went up against Trent Williams, and we know that Trent had an ankle injury. So I'm going to put Laramie a little above him for this season, and Myles is really, really excited for this matchup. In fact, said that he gets butterflies when he goes against a guy this good. So this is one to watch.
Yeah, I know. You look, with C.J. Stroud likely out, we're recording this before we've gotten official word, but it is certainly trending that way. Ashley, this is the marquee matchup here if Myles lines up against Tunsil.
Yeah, and I think the big question is, because, you know, last year when they played the Texans, the defense was obviously different. Myles didn't go up against Tunsil a ton. They actually moved him over to the left side to get him a more favorable matchup, and Jadeveon Clowney had to deal with Tunsil for most of the game. But in Jim Schwartz's scheme, they've moved Myles around a lot more. You see him rushing from over the middle even a lot more. So really curious just to see that matchup when it happens, because it should be a good one.
Okay, this is the second time we've done this video. So you get to see this video. There's some other video out there with audio you don't get to see. Without audio, you don't get to see. This one, though, you'll get to see. You'll get to see our picks video, too. You can find it all at cleveland.com/Browns.